hey, MCE crew, the country we knew of as the United States of America is done financially, and we need to profit from that. Okay, the Titanic is sinking, and we need to figure out how to go around the ship and get some valuables, throw them into a big old tablecloth, throw them over our back, and jump on a lifeboat and take care of ourselves and our family and our communities. Okay, those people that are close to us, because the government is not going to do it. These people in government are interested in doing one thing, and that is crashing this economic plane into the ground. That's the only way you explain them spending trillions. When's the last time you ever heard a politician use the word billion? They're far beyond that now. And this is destroying the value of the dollar. It is driving up inflation, and they do not care. And if you believe that this infrastructure bill is going to help the people, then you got another thing coming. Now, we can take advantage of it. We can watch what they're doing, emulate it, and then get in positions to make money from this, to get some of this money back. This is your money because you're a taxpayer. So you got to profit from this. Otherwise, it's going to be all bad for you because, again, it's going to drive up inflation and it's going to continue to devalue the US dollar. Now, this is not it. They also have another trick up their sleeve. They want to install or enact, rather, a $2 trillion on top of what we already done, what they signed, $1 trillion. They want another $2 trillion in what they're calling a human infrastructure bill. That sounds like something the Borg off of Star Trek would come up with.
From this time forward, you will service us.
Now, also, I want you to remember, we did this whole thing with an infrastructure project before, during Barack Obama's tenure in office. And we had to have it. It was going to be so transformational. There were going to be shovel-ready jobs. And at the end of the day, there were no shovel-ready jobs. Obama even laughed about that.
Shovel-ready was not as shovel-ready as we expected.
So, it is what it is. They're spending money. You know about it. People have gone over it. They've groused about it, complained about it. That's not what we're going to do here. We're going to figure out how to make some money off of this. Now, one of the things that this infrastructure bill has in it is money for expansion of broadband internet services. Now, one of the reasons why the internet companies have not put broadband out into the hinterlands of America is because they are sparsely populated. If you're running a business, then you're going to go where the business is. And that is not on the top of some mountain in South Dakota. I don't know if there are mountains in South Dakota, but you get the point. Let me read you this real quick passage from the Wall Street Journal. The broadband section of the bill has a whole broadband section, so your mind should be saying, money. This section would establish a grant program to expand access to underserved areas with nonprofits, public-private partnerships, private companies, utilities, and local government, all eligible for project funding. Now, you can't invest in a nonprofit. Nonprofit, no profit. That should just scare you away from that in terms of making money right then and there. Governments, please. But that part about private companies, they're going to do the work. They're going to get the money out of this. Because what nonprofit is out there stringing fiber optic cable in order to send a signal somewhere? Okay, this is going to be Verizon. This is going to be AT&T. It's going to be Comcast. These are going to be the companies that win off of this. Now, I'm not saying go throw your life savings into it. I'm not even saying invest in those companies. You got to do your due diligence. But they will be seeing some of this money because they know how to apply for grants. They know how to get this money. They helped write the bill, okay, this section of it. Believe me, I was in D.C. I was there when Verizon was, helping to draft legislation that would be beneficial to its mission. Okay, I was a lobbyist in D.C. I know how these guys work. So another play, and this is what I'm thinking about. Again, I'm not telling you to do this, but this is what I'm thinking about, a way to win. All of this, you got the broadband section of the bill. You got a lot of stuff in here in terms of electrification in order to power these cars, charging stations, blah, 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 blah. Electricity. Okay. Now, I don't care where it comes from. Wind, solar, uh, unicorns, wherever it comes from, there needs to be electrification in there somewhere. And what enables that is one of the precious metals, or one of the metals, copper. So I'm looking around, figure out what are some ways I can get in on that copper market, okay? Because that's going to be a commodity, a serious hot commodity. It's going to become hotter and hotter. All right, so we've got that. We've got some other industries as well that are going to profit because they're going to do this thing where they're going to go through and hopefully this goes for the whole country and not just little Democrat enclaves, because they are giving a lot of money to New York City. And New York City is, a friend of the Democrats. This is how this stuff works, though. But hopefully your town will see some of this money if it needs improvements in roads and bridges. What's in the agreement for roads, bridges, transit, and water? The bill includes $110 billion in funding for roads, bridges, and major projects. Now, there are companies that specialize in that. Martin Marietta is a company that provides asphalt and concrete and does things like that. You've got Caterpillar, you've got Deere, companies that have the equipment that enable these men and women to go out and work on these roads. So we did a video about infrastructure plays, okay, in the stock market. Go ahead and watch that if you want some more information. But I want you to understand how you should be behaving, okay, post trillion upon trillion dollar spending packages. You should be behaving with the mindset that, look, doesn't matter who you vote for now, the money is spent, okay? I'm not trying to change your political ideology, but I don't care what you are, Republican, Democrat, Green Party, Independent, it doesn't matter, okay? Whatever you are, this spending is affecting you negatively. It's just too much, okay? And the Congress doesn't seem like they're in any rush to stop spending. They seem like they're accelerating spending. And that's going to rob you of your purchasing power. You've already seen that. You go to the grocery store, you know what's up, okay? So you need to think about how to get the best returns possible, okay, to beat inflation. And remember, core inflation is BS. They're telling you it's 5-6% on the news, which is garbage. You need to stop watching it. But in fact, if we go back to the measures before the 80s or during that time, if you include food and energy, what do you spend the most money on daily? Okay, you got to eat, you got to put power in your car, and you got to heat and cool your environment in your home or your office. They took out food and energy. Oh, they're too volatile, they said. No shit, okay? That volatility is real life. It's reflective of what we, the consumer, are actually experiencing. So when you include those metrics, you got inflation up in the 13% range. So that means if you got a 2% raise on your job last year, then you're still way, way behind. You're still under by 11%. So you got to get that return up. You got to invest, okay? Whether it be in paper, stocks, bonds, insurance, commodities like copper, we talked about that. Whether it be in your own business, real estate, okay, your own business is going to have the best returns provided it is managed correctly. You can't just hang a shingle and expect magic to happen. You got to work it. Listen, if you want to talk about a business that you can start, there are high barrier to entry businesses, and then there are low barrier to entry businesses that have a lot of profit potential. We're in the financial service industry. We'd love to talk to you about it. mcenow.com is our website where you can find more information about it. Okay, guys? So in the meantime, you got to get those returns up, and you got to store the value of your purchasing power. You have to preserve it. We talked about how to do that with gold. All right, guys, I'll come at you with more information as we receive it. I'll talk to you soon.